sure I should be sleeping for my shift that I picked up tomorrow at the mall. Yes, that's weird. At any rate, instead, I'm going to record this video really quick first. Right now, we are experiencing here at the Magic Kingdom. Okay, not just the Magic Kingdom, but all of Walt Disney World and the resorts and probably downtown Disney and everything Disney related. We are experiencing what is called the CP gap. As someone on the college program, I have learned the hard way that we do not get very good hours. We get picked to do crappy work. We just in general, we have no seniority and we're new and we're cheap labor, as they put it. That's fine. That's how you start out in any company. But a lot of part-timers, full-time doesn't seem to be as bad because they get their hours. But part-time at Disney does not get as many hours. And lots of times they talk stuff about CPs. Sometimes they talk directly to CPs like me who are older. They don't realize you are a CP because they don't look at your name tag that I'm usually wearing that has, a school on it. Or some CPs buy name tags from their towns so they talk about their hometown. So, anyways, the CP gap means that as of this Monday, a bunch of college program students are leaving and going back home. And then they will start their spring semester at their college or go off and get a job somewhere or whatever. And we did get some Brazilian CPs or ICPs in within the last month and a half. But they leave at the end of January, February. But there's not so many of those CPs. So the big influx of CPs, I believe, start coming on the 12th of January, but it keeps going through into February sometime. So it's not going to be sometime until later in February that they replenish the thousands and thousands of people that they're going to be losing right now. Some people like me are extending, but a lot of people do not want to extend for their same location, let alone their same role. I know a lot of people in quick service who are going into attractions. I am merchandise going into photo pass. I talked about this theoretically with my friend the other day and heard about it on our group shift exchange page on Facebook where everybody was going, oh my god, why do they have me scheduled for Mondays or Thursdays or whatever? I put in a request and I told them I can never work Thursdays. That's my child ballet recital or whatever the hell it is that you do in your house. And the reasoning is it's the CP gap, which is the people who work part-time who complain that we are taking all of their hours or doing, their work or whatever, actually have to end up working, not roles, but functions of the job, or especially bad hours, or different positions. For instance, like I said, at the store I was working at, we didn't just have regular merchandise, there was also production. So maybe someone mainly liked to work in production, but they were losing all the people who do registers, and then that person's being pulled out of the kitchen, or vice versa. So, it's a little funny. It's a little funny for CPs like me. I'm staying, but I'm not staying at my store. And it's a little funny to see people who have been talking about you, well, sometimes right in front of your face for 4 months, saying things like, stupid CPs, coming here for a few months, take all our hours. You don't want to work our hours anyways. Lots of times when I've traded shifts with people so I could try new stores, it was other CPs. You hardly will ever get a mid that's considered a good shift. That's like 10 to 7 or whatever in the daytime. I've never opened under my actual regular job. I've opened under shifts I've traded with part-time people, which has occasionally happened. Part-time people do not want to work close in the kitchen or on the floor at the place I work at, because if you're closing in the kitchen, everything has to be completely spick and span perfect, and you're not getting out of there on time. And on the floor, it has to look perfect, and sometimes you're not getting out of there on time either. And it's more stressful than when you come in and work in the middle of the day. You get angrier guests when you work at night. You have a weird, messed up sleep schedule because one day you have to be at work at 4 o'clock in the afternoon and don't go to sleep until like 2 or 3. And then the next day, maybe you actually get a mid and you have to be there at 11, or maybe it's 1 or 2 or whatever. So, yeah, that's the CP gap. If You don't work here. You have no idea what I'm talking about, but maybe this is a little interesting. Maybe it's nice for you to see me smile after this crappy month. If you are coming in as a CP and people want to mistreat you, maybe you can remind them that a week or two or a month ago, they didn't have your help and they had to work the crappy job that they don't want to do now. Or they had to come in and work at 2 o'clock in the afternoon until 1 in the morning. These are Magic Kingdom hours. I know it's not in the other parks. And I do know that the hours are changing right now. But they can still extend them and force extend you. And that doesn't happen when you work mid. One time I had a mid and I was getting off at 7. They force extended everybody who was leaving at 8 or later. You can see how it works to be the part-time people who have the seniority and can put in for different days and stuff. And they can also go work part-time jobs other places where we can't do that because we have to have full availability. So just saying that's the CP gap. Yeah. And you thought CPs sucked or whatever, but they do, we serve a function aside from not getting paid for holiday time and all that other stuff that you guys get and you think we're like I said, taking your stuff. But if you're working all day and we're not, they're paying you more money. So they're actually losing money, and it's surprising that they would do that. And it's just probably a mistake in the schedule. But yeah, the last rumor I heard when I got here before was 50,000 people applied and 5,000 got accepted. So if, let's say, I don't know, even 2,000 are staying in, but extending another role is still a problem because you're in training for a little while and you don't really know what you're doing and you can't help much and you're on daytime. So basically, for a small period of time, they're losing thousands and thousands of people. And I heard the next group is going to be larger because they put in the bunk beds like I had with my roommates. And they're able to house more people. So yeah, CP gap. Not a good thing for you. Maybe don't mistreat the CPs or talk about them. This is not in reference to everybody I worked with. I worked with a lot of newer part-time people who were very nice. I feel like it was the people who've been there a while. If you have a frustration with your job, yeah, we can talk about how we're all mad about whatever in the break room, but don't put it all on us. We didn't set the things. We don't make the rules. We have very little pull on anything. CP gap.